You're on, Dave.
Hi everybody, this is Dave Campbell. I'm part of the guild as well. I came here because I'm introducing my new product, which is a threader. And the thing about the threader is you can do 4 different threads just by the flick of a button. So you have 4 options, which is 2 millimeter, 2.5 millimeter, 3 millimeter, and 3.5 millimeter. So in inches, you can say 12 threads per inch, 10 threads per inch, 8 threads per inch, or 6 threads per inch. However you wish to look at it, because they're so very close. But it is metric. This weighs about 17 pounds, and it's about probably 13 inches long. And it'll sit as low as to the cutting center will sit as low as 3 1/8. So that would be equivalent to a one-way lathe, from what I understand. And now we'll just start doing the installation. Okay, so right now this here is a 33 millimeter adapter. And we're going to put it on here, and you'll note that there's a flat on this shaft, which is a 5/8 shaft. So you have your set screw right here. It's just a 1/4 inch set screw. You just put it on like that. And what did we do?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think this is it, yeah. Just tighten it down. You're good to go. And the chuck just goes on. Simple as that.
So it's important to note on the chuck that the chuck should bottom against the flange of the insert so that it actually registers perpendicular to the shaft. That's an important point.
Yeah.
Various chucks have different depths. So this one's a Vic Mark. If you have a one-way or a Nova or any of the other knockoffs, just make sure that it comes up against the flat on the adapter.
Yeah.
The important part is the chuck going through the cutter.
Yeah.
So I want this chuck, the back of the chuck, to be parallel to the ways. That's the way I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I've never seen one of these before.
Correct.
So now you're right, this could all be in line.
Yeah.
And I could use this. I'm
Yeah.
just showing you the benefit of what I've used, and I've used the chuck as a reference point because that's the piece that's going through the cutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I know that this is lined up, then I lock it. Well, now that it's locked and this is square, I can run this in and I know the cutter's going to work, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But now we have to.
But now, Dave, how do you run this thing back and forth?
Okay, for the threading part of it, we have a knob right here. So this will control your adjusting.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't realize it had that.
Yeah. This controls your adjusting. And when you need to move it away to check your size, there's a little latch here. You pull back and just pull it away.
Okay.
Oh, is that ever slick?
Yeah.
Very nice, Dave.
Yeah. And then you just push it back. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now we gotta come back that way a bit.
Will this wind back farther? No, it's already back.
Sorry back.
So we got to pull the
okay.
banjo back.
But now that's there. There you go. Yeah.
How close are we?
Okay, we're doing the inside of this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we gotta go that way. Right about there.
Okay.
Yep.
That should be parallel.
Actually, maybe a little closer, Stu.
Finger?
Yeah, a
Finger?
little closer this way.
Bring your finger, Dave. Good.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, and it's got to come forward a bit. Oh, a little far back. And right about there.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, now I just want to look at the, I can see right down the edge of the,
Okay, now, okay. I should have done it when it was locked in place.
What's that?
I should have done that when it was locked in place.
And that's okay. That's all really good stuff because all you do is put this back on and slide the stock that way.
That's right, yeah, okay, yeah. 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 And just locks in place.
Okay.
Just
So
like
now
that.
you set where you want to put the threads, right?
Yep.
of the,
Okay, no, okay. I should have done it when it was locked in place.
What's that?
I should have done that when it was locked in place.
And that's okay. That's all really good stuff because all you do is put this back on and slide the stock that way.
That's right, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. 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 And just locks in place.
Okay.
Just like
now
that.
you set where you want to put the threads, right?
Yep. Very good. Yep, okay. Ready to go there?
yeah,
Just walk here.
that's good.
Yep. Now you can move away and just kind of gradually come back into it.
I would think that when you first set up, you should probably be pretty much in the middle here, Dave. Is that?
Oh,
a
for the
good-
threading?
Yeah.
It's
For your
probably good
positioning?
practice, yeah. Because as I'm learning, it's
Because
easy
then
to
you can
forget.
go back and forth from it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are we in a good position there?
Okay, that's the center there. It can probably go that way. This here, the banjo can go that way.
Just got to slide back a bit.
Yeah. And about there. Just nice and straight. Oh, wait. Oh, hang on.
There.
Yeah, that'll work. There you go. Okay, we're locked in place.
And we only cut like really, really fine. The first cut is just touching.
I would think this might even be out around. I just,
Well, just rotate this by hand and then run this in. Right? So if we run this in and rotate the lathe by hand, so you're not touching yet. So, so you bring the tool inside the wood and bring this over and then keep turning that until it just touches.
until it touches. Okay.
So turn it, Sue. Okay, that's just touching. Okay, so now you know that you're going to start cutting wood.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, right, and then how much advance per turn? Because that'll be something people will want to know. Is how do you know
How far it's
where you're
moving when
going?
you
So you
turn
need
that
an
up.
index mark on here,
Yeah.
and you should have index marks around here so that people can say, oh, okay, I started on this mark and move it one click or one increment. Because right now there's no way. No way of knowing that, eh?
Oh, okay.
So an index on here, or on the end here, probably on top so you can see it, and then a bunch of indexes around here, and
There's just got to be a reference. They don't have to
they're
be
a
numbered or
reference.
marked. It's just
So if it was like
1 notch, 2 notch,
10
3
notches or 6 notches on here, or whatever,
Yeah.
'cause people will get a feel for what is the right amount of thread. Is it 3 notches? Is it 6 notches? Is it 10 notches?
Yeah.
You won't know until you actually cut the thread.
Okay.
So to service us today, maybe we'll just put a felt pen mark.
felt
Or
pen, yeah.
There's a Sharpie in that pencil holder right there, Dave.
Okay, so each.
So that's 4. So that's one turn is
50 thou.
50 thou for a full turn.
Yep.
Okay, so each mark is 12 and a half thou.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say If it's 50 thou in one full turn, I would put 5 marks if you're going to put an index
Yeah,
on
that's
it.
right, yeah.
Okay.
You put 5
There you
scratches
go.
on it, then you got 50. So you got 10 thou per index.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking about a user,
So,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
to simplify it,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Simplify.
a good way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So an index mark on here and 5 on here.
Yeah.
And they're indexed, so then you know wherever you start, it doesn't matter which one you start on, it's just when
Yeah.
you move it, it's going to be
Yeah.
10 thou.
Yeah.
Those are the little things that really help a user to be successful.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
Yeah.
so
okay, so it's ready to go.
so we're ready to go. So what threads are we going to be cutting?
So we got-
I missed the part where you actually showed how you switch the threads.
Okay.
So you're gonna explain that, Dave.
Okay, what we, I'm still looking at that camera, right? Okay.
That's-
Where am I at? Okay. Okay, what we have here is for changing your threads is just a dial system. So what you have inside is it's like a cam system. So you would have every 90 degrees you have your what's known as your chaser, and it's basically a worm gear setup. So when you change your gears, when you're butt up like this, you move it ahead a little bit, and you change to the next gear. So you change the next gear again, and next gear again. So right now it's on 2.5 millimeter. What thread do we want? Do we care?
Big threads.
Doesn't work.
Big
They
thing?
work for this, by the way.
Yeah, then we're gonna go all the way. Right now we're gonna do 3.5 millimeter threads, and let's see how that works out.
You got another one for him?
And always make sure that the wood is off the cutter before you start it. Okay, now we're about to start the threading on here. Safety first.
Middle switch, this way, right? That's it,
Yep.
speed up.
And now we're gonna go to pedal to the metal here. So we'll do in 12 thou increments. And guys, this is the trial run, so I'm seeing it the same time you are. And so far, everything is working out good. Another 12 thou.
Can you cut both ways with it? Like turn it in, and then reset it, and then turn it out?
You can, yep.
Yeah, so you should be able to cut both directions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have we got a point on the end of the threads, or is it not quite, eh?
Not quite, no.
Have you got some thin CA now?
Yeah.
And so one of the things now, this will be good to test, how do we get this away from here and put it back on there?
Yeah.
Right? So that's what I'm asking, like, how do we do that? Take it off so you can put the
Gotta
CA on.
wind it back first, Dave? Past the cutter?
Oh, I was just gonna.
Well, that's what I'm saying is, don't wanna change any of these settings, we just wanna take this back this way and over there.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Well,
so-
I was just gonna go straight this way.
You can't, yeah.
You can't.
You can't. The cutter,
You're gonna hit the cutter.
gotta wind it
The
back a bit
cutter's in the
more.
hole.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Wind it back.
Okay, she's back all the way.
So you're back all the way, we're still in the hole.
Okay, so,
So that's the problem when we did the initial setup. We
Yeah.
should have
Yeah.
made sure that the cutter was free, and then you're, like this would be, have a half inch of free play,
yeah.
Okay.
right? So right now, we can't get it across that way without hitting the cutter.
Okay.
But,
Okay, that's fine. We can still pick up the thread again. Yeah, we'll just move it back this way. Just a touch. Because we're.
Yeah, it's only gonna come back a quarter inch.
Yeah.
Okay, so use your square
so if you,
and just slide it straight back.
well, no, let go of this for a second. You want this to come back here, you got a clamp?
Over there.
We'll just clamp this onto here and then just push it against, then you're,
Can you reach one?
but like you say, Stu, you'd make yourself a jig
Yeah, I would.
that would just bolt on there, so it's just
Right.
a squaring jig, right? It's
Yeah.
just a piece of plate that goes on the ways and makes it perfectly square, and then you just slam your tailstock against that, you're done every time, it's
Right,
perfect.
right. It would just simplify the setup.
Yeah. It's a quarter inch, so now we just take that loose and just slide it straight back, we should be good. Okay, and then lock it again. But
See, now
now,
you're clear.
now we're clear, but we're not indexed on the thread anymore.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Because what we'll do.
We can do an adjustment there to get indexed on the thread.
Yeah. We just pick it up. Just
Yeah.
chase it.
Chase the thread, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, now move your slide back. That's it. I really like that.
That part's nice.
That part is beautiful. So now you can
A little more. Yeah, maximum. You're at max. Okay.
If you're at max, we're gonna shut the weight off. You need to move it, because you need to be able to get in there. What is
a
it?
little bit farther,
Just a
yeah.
little bit farther.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, then in order to move it just a little bit, we'll just go that much further and lock it, so.
I'll just hang on to it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm fine.
And lock it.
That should be it.
And now how do we pick up the thread again? So that's,
How's it looking from your side?
what's that?
How's it looking from your side?
Can
Oh,
you
I
see the
can't
thread?
I can't see from.
I can't
Yeah.
see from here either.
Need a little more light.
It's just more of a bad angle, anyway.
That washes it out. for-
Yeah, it does on the camera, but you gotta see it to set it up, and then we'll take the light out.
Yeah.
Can you blow the sawdust out of there and I'll show you what I would do.
Yeah.
Let me in there, Dave, and I'll show you what I would do to find the thread again. So I need somebody with this on here, just to be ready when you're done.
Just feel it in, I guess.
Okay, now we're
Like that, now
registered,
square.
now square it. I can't see what you're doing, I'm just keeping this square, so.
We're square here.
You square it, then lock it.
There you go.
Now we turn this out,
Yeah, that makes sense.
okay? So
Yeah.
that's how I find the thread when I'm, and now we're
Jason.
close enough now that it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, machining world would do it the same way, just a little.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same deal. It's just you're adjusting with nuts and bolts.
So we're, have we got a point on here now? I'm asking, so I mean, I'm not.
Not quite.
Okay.
I think we could take another cut.
A little bit deeper.
Yeah.
A little bit deeper, yeah.
Ready?
You ready?
Straighten that thing. Yeah. It's just barely making it to the bottom. Okay, you're out.
Threads are looking decent.
Okay, it's a bad piece of wood, but you know, because it looks kind of gnarly. But the idea of it, with the saturating the CA on there,
Yeah.
it stiffens the wood up and it makes a nice. Normally, we make a nice cut. Okay, so maybe now we'll try an outside thread on the outside here.
Well, no, let's try and make a outside thread to fit into there.
Okay, so we need to find another piece of wood. I was just this was what I was doing to show how
Oh, okay,
this works.
and then we'll do the box for real.
Right.
The other one. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
So this we'll just thread on the outside here for
Yep.
as far as I can. So do an outside thread. So let's set the cutter up to thread here.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, where are we? Let's travel. Oh yeah.
How far do we want to be away from there for our start?
You're only going to go in a
And the-
100 and some thou, so if he's got
Right.
5 or 6 turns, he'll have lots.
Yeah.
Might want to be closer this way to the
Closer this way?
Yeah.
because you're
Too far.
too far, yeah. Right about there.
Yeah.
That should work.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, locked and loaded.
Okay, when you wind in,
Yeah. So spin the lathe by hand and
it's just barely touching.
okay, and then
There we go.
there we go. So then you
Yeah.
back this out.
Back it out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so now we're going to do an outside thread.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, let it rip.
Okay, so Dave, this is the part where it's really can get exciting because nobody's holding this, and if this friction is just backed in here, we're 2 or 3 inches away from center. If that cutter decides to grab this wood because it is shitty wood,
Yeah.
this is going to spin off at 3,000 RPM.
Yeah.
It's going to get real exciting really quick.
Yeah.
So I
That's-
always say let's hang on to this.
Correct.
Because that's just enough to make sure. That's why on mine I put a ship's wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is, I can't emphasize that enough from a safety point of view. This is just a friction fit. And to me, that's, unless there's a set screw in here to lock it
On the chuck onto this.
onto there, then
adjust.
there's a
Yeah.
safety issue. So I
Right.
turn with here instead of using that hand wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And
Now,
that's,
another thing that I see here,
yeah.
you need a bigger wheel on here.
No, but you need
Yeah. Yeah.
This
but-
is just for setting up. You
Right.
don't need a big wheel because
No,
if
no.
you put a big wheel on here and this catches it, it buggers off. It doesn't matter. There's no effort to do this small wheel. There's no effort.
Did you not notice when he was turning that wheel, how jerky it was?
Yeah, but that's
I
because
thought larger wheel had more control, Bert.
that's why you need to have the control here, right where this stuff is happening. If you
Okay.
put a bigger wheel on here,
Okay.
then this is going to fly off. I
I
guarantee
understand
you.
that. Yeah,
I
yeah.
guarantee you that.
Yeah.
And only reason I'm really adamant about it is it's happened to me.
I know
And
that.
It's like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah.
What can we do to
told
make
me about
this?
it.
Because other people are going to want to watch it. So
Yeah.
when I do my videos, I
Yeah.
say, I put my ship's wheel on here because I have control.
Correct.
Other people that have done this say, well, keep your hand on the chuck. And that's fine.
Yeah.
They're doing small stuff.
Yeah.
We're doing stuff that's like 3 and 4 inches.
Yeah.
If you're doing urns,
Yeah.
I mean, and you got a big
That's-
pause on here. Like I've done like stuff 7 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that cutter grabs it and buggers it off, that's like
You're gonna
5
lose.
pounds of shit.
And
And your butt,
and you're going to lose your equipment. You're going to lose your
your cutter's
product.
going to grab it and flip it
Yeah.
off. And
Yeah.
anyway, I just wanted to make sure that when I seen you going in here and this was jumping like this, I thought that's going to come off.
Yeah.
I don't know how tight you put this on.
It's snugged on, but it's not
No, it's
not-
and it should be tight.
right.
Like, I mean,
Right.
either-
And I think in going forward, if I had one of these things, I would get Dave to make up this flange that I can make some kind of a lock system to the
I was
chuck.
just gonna say, what I would do is have like a wheel here, but a tension wheel on top of that, and you control
And
it
then-
with that tension.
And it
like,
sets
so,
your
I mean,
water.
that's the feedback we're giving you is like,
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
okay, I've identified, like,
Yeah.
we know that that's an issue. So when you screw this on,
Yeah.
what can you actually do that's universal to all the chucks
Yeah.
to make sure that it can happen? right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, if it
Right.
happens to be some little thing
Yeah.
that you have to put on, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it
But this
what
is
it
an important part.
It-
If you
it-
can make
yeah.
a lock ring from this to the chuck,
Yeah.
universal, that will fit
Yeah.
different chucks.
Yeah.
Is there?
I would actually use a knurled ring. A knurled ring that mates with a knurled ring, so you can control that ring with the knurl, so it's a grip.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
machining details that absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that Vicmark uses the 2 groove system on my chuck. So if I put a big chuck on
Yeah.
and I screw it on, it's got a 2 half rings that come together and they fit on a taper. So there is no way that thing's coming
Yeah.
off because it's
Yeah.
actually clamped. And I had a machine shop make me an adapter for stronghold. So I can put a stronghold on a Vicmark chuck and there's no way it's coming off and there's no set screws. It's just 2 clamp rings.
Yeah.
So you're talking like a clamp ring arrangement.
Yeah.
How do you make it universal for all of the different chucks? That's a challenge, but
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
I mean, that is a challenge. Eh?
For a
Yeah.
machinist.
Yeah. But then you can do that with,
Oh, yeah.
with 2 half rings too.
Right.
They don't have to be perfect circle. They can be 2 half
Well,
rings.
actually, I was just thinking like a V ring. So you'd have a V on each side, so that way you can open and close to whatever
Okay, yeah,
side
yeah,
you need.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you say, then it's enough of a friction grab so that it grabs the chuck and the chuck can't run away.
It won't
That's
run
what
off.
we're trying to do is keep it from unscrewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
right.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
So yeah, so you'll have that, and then you'll have like say a knurl. It'll be like a knurl on the top, and a smaller wheel would have a knurl on it as well, and you control your tension with that small wheel. You just
Yeah, because all you want to do is put it on and lock it, and then you don't
And
have
that's
to
the
worry
end of
about
it. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Then
Yeah.
you can talk about a bigger wheel on here if you want for whatever. But
Yeah.
even at that,
Yeah.
if you have a hand here and a hand here, and you're
Then
going like this,
that's fine.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't think that's too big, and I don't think it's too small because when I'm using mine, I'm actually turning here, and I do have
Right.
both hands
Right.
on it because
Yeah.
I'll have my ship's wheel and out like this and
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
'Cause if you have it too big, then it's almost too clunky. It's
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Want to keep cutting?
Yeah.
Ready to go? Did you turn it in already?
Nope. Yeah, we'll go with that. Has you got that 7/16 wrench in there, Steve? I kind of cheated when I done this. Okay. Oh, you look decent.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I mean it's a crappy piece of wood, but it we're using this as a sample thing to demonstrate how it works.
Yeah.
You know, if it's good wood, it's it cuts a nice thread.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Bert.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
Backing away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's backing away. Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah, that's
exactly
what I'm
what
saying.
happens.
Yeah, that's exactly what's
Yeah.
happening. So, and because you're getting deeper in the thread,
It's
the
more
cutter is going
resistance.
to have more wood to grab a hold of, and so yeah,
Yeah. So
you're actually lucky that it didn't just bugger right off. 'Cause
Right.
the wood's shitty enough it didn't grab. If that would have been a
Yeah.
good hardwood,
Yeah.
it would have been laying on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's okay. At least you know you've seen it with your own eyes. And
Yeah.
that's 90% of it. Eh?
Well, see, it's because I was holding it like that. If I was relying on the wheel there, I think it would have went.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, now you know why I built a ship's wheel.
Yeah.
And you know, a ship's wheel isn't really a bad thing because if it's a lot of work to put something that's going to fit every chuck,
Yeah.
you can tell people, hang on to this
Yep.
or build yourself a little wooden clamp with, and tell the wood turner to make the safety device, right?
Yeah,
Or if you
right.
can figure out something that would do it easily,
Yeah.
well then that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it has to be universal for every chuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Okay, the one thing you want to do, Stu,
Yeah.
is always make sure you got a little bit of thread in, because what's happening is when you're turning it, it's finding the thread.
Okay.
Right.
Right. It's got a
needs
got a
that
register
leverage.
on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I'm gonna get this piece of wood off the chuck. And it's the same chuck that I'm going to use for the product that I am going to turn. The thread on. So that's out of the way. We do the internal thread first. So. Okay, so I have a little piece of maple here that I turned out the other day. So what I want to do is square this up to the world.
Okay, guys, how you doing? Well, we're having fun. So we're just going to see if I can switch cameras here. There we go. Come on. Okay, I'm unmuted. I'm trying to switch cameras. Okay, so
Dave?
we've done a production test or a performance test on the machine, and the machine works. And what we've done now is we've got Stu. We just said, hey, Stu is the guy that just got this device in his shop, and he's cutting his first box. So Stu's going to do all of the stuff. So as far as an update on what's happening, so far this little machine looks like a really slick piece of kit. And it's got 4 threads. Don't have to change anything other than just do a little knob switch to switch between threads. It's got enough travel. We've identified a couple of things that Dave's gonna work on. But this is prototype number 1, and it's working like a charm.
Okay, in my setup here, I set this up so that I know the cutter travel will go past the end of the surface that I want to thread. And I've got it square, so I think it's running straight or locked down. It's ready to go. Actually, I'm going to bring this out a little bit.
How did the meeting go, Jeff? I could hear you guys, but we were pretty well preoccupied with what we were doing here. Good.
Okay. I just got to know when I turn this which way it's moving. So to advance the thread, the wood into the cutter,
You have to turn counterclockwise for you, I guess. Counterclockwise for us.
it's got to turn this way.
You got to turn this way.
Turn it in.
Yeah, turn clockwise.
Let's see. No.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you bet.
Okay.
Just turn
That's got to go counterclockwise
counterclockwise
to bring it back.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right, yes. Okay. Sure, that is 3.5 you're putting on there, right?
Sorry?
I think that is 3.5 you're putting on there, isn't it?
I think it. Yeah. It looks big. I thought we changed it.
No, we didn't do nothing there. You were supposed
You were
to do
supposed
that.
to change.
I'm supposed to change it. So I guess I got a coarse thread that's going in here.
Yeah.
And it's fine. I'm going to work with it.
Yeah.
Well, I have to. Okay?
Yeah.
And I think in looking at this, the coarse thread is less turns to tighten the lid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a bit big, and then I remembered after, whatever.
Yeah.
Now I want to try. We want to cut going back out.
How do you want to do it?
Is that right to do that? Do you do that on yours, Bert?
I don't, but that only because I'm used to mine.
Yeah.
But absolutely.
In thinking about it, it might not be a good idea, because as we were talking about how this grabs, I'm actually cutting wood by turning it back out.
As long as you're hanging on to it and you're comfortable with it, I'd say fine, but
I don't think I want to try it.
Okay.
I think I got to back out and then reset the cutter.
A lot of times I think that's easier because you get the muscle memory and everything is happening and you can see everything.
Right.
Where if you make a change and
I'm loading it for
and
too many things.
somebody distracts you and you go,
Which way did I go?
Yeah.
Should I or shouldn't I?
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
No, and I understand that. That makes sense.
But everybody that uses a threading machine is going to go through this learning curve, which is okay because there's no wrong way to do it. It's just what works for you
Right.
and what you get used to.
Right.
And you make it as safe as possible.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea.
After I do a dozen of these, I might be doing that.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is my first
Once
one.
you're comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to back it out and reset the cart. Yeah.
One of the other things it does is it keeps some of the vibration down in the wood because the wood will have vibration.
Yeah.
And if you're out here and it's
Yeah.
just sitting there, even though it's tied together and it's on threads
Right.
and it's in a chuck, a little bit of vibration, you put your hand on it and it gets rid of
It
the
balances
resonance.
it.
It gets
Yeah.
rid of the
Deadens
resonance.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it helps,
Yeah.
right?
And what I was doing here, I'm using both hands on the chuck.
That's right. So
Yeah.
it's never ever free.
Right.
And that's the way I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a little hesitant to go both hands on the chuck. Should I go one on the wheel on here? But I felt more comfortable with going with 2 hands on the chuck.
Yep. And that's what I found was mine too, is
Yeah.
I do the same.
Okay.
There that it was cutting a little bit on the way out,
Yeah.
and that's because you're taking the stress out of the wood and the wood's moving.
Yeah.
So if you would have made an adjustment, you would have been cutting and then cutting hard.
Right.
Where this
Right.
way was cutting in.
I think it's better to do it this way. Honestly, I do. Yeah, I was thinking it would save a bit of time, but I'm not looking for time.
Exactly.
Let's do it right.
So these are all good conversation pieces because when people are asking me about it, people will say that I'm very fast and well, they don't do it that way. They do it that way. Well, okay. And if you look at it, you will say, well, this is what we would recommend. And then you do it the same all the time. Yeah. It's just, it doesn't do it all the time. Yeah. Whatever makes it work. Right? Yeah. So you got flat spots on the thread, or are they sharp?
I'm gonna check and see here. I still got a flat.
Yeah. So
I still got to cut a little bit more.
yeah. And so, but you don't want to go past the point.
No.
If you go past the point, and you're making the hole bigger.
Right.
Now your mating piece won't fit.
Right.
That's where that little recess that we
Yeah.
put on.
Yeah.
So that's your index. So if you
Yes.
take these points really sharp,
Yeah.
go too deep, now the
Yeah.
hole's bigger.
Yeah.
Then, so that's an easy way to check whether you're getting close to being the right size.
Yeah.
If that thing will fit in.
Yeah.
I think with that being said, it would have been better to do the lip first, because then you're coming down to that reference
No,
point.
No.
Inside
Do the
first.
internal first.
Okay,
Yeah.
You got to have the female before the male.
okay, fair
Yeah,
enough.
we've learned that. I've learned that the hard way. Is
I do it from Bert's experience with it. It's yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
do
okay.
the inside one first, and then it's easier to fit than the other way around because
Oh, that's
it might be different for driving machine. We've got a lot more control over driving machine than we do here.
yeah.
I still say it should have another cut, wouldn't you, Bert?
Well,
Can you see it?
you can go as sharp as you want, or you can leave it that way because it's a little stronger thread. And when you cut the other mating thread,
It'll mate up
it'll
to it.
still fit in the hole, right?
Right. Yeah. That's right. Dust out.
Okay, so take a look at that with the
Yeah.
camera so we can see.
Let's see here first. Okay, now you can look. How's that?
Okay, well, you can roll it a little bit so we can see. There you go. That looks
Can you
good.
see it?
Yeah.
Okay. I still say it should have another cut, wouldn't you, Bert?
Well,
Can you see it?
you can go as sharp as you want, or you can leave it that way because it's a little stronger thread. And when you cut the other mating thread,
It'll mate up
it'll
to it.
still fit in the hole, right?
Right. Yeah. That's good. Dust
so take a look at that with the
Yeah.
camera. So,
Let's see here first. Okay, now you can look. How's that?
okay, well, you can roll it a little bit so we can see. There you go. That looks
Can
good.
you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make
I
another.
know it washes out on the camera, but it's more important that the user sees what he has to see.
That's,
We
yeah,
always live with it washed out on
in
the
this
camera.
particularly is important that we see.
Yeah.
A lot of the filming that we do, Dave, we have to have the lights off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll turn them on so the person can do what he has to do.
Yeah.
And then everybody understands when it's washed out, but then at least they get to see it with the light off after it's done, so they can see what the light is on. That's good. I would say that's.
I'd almost say I don't even need to put any CA on that one.
Probably not.
And I think you've probably found that some of the woods that you've cut thread on, you don't have to use it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that looks good.
That looks nice, yeah.
So now you gotta set it up and,
So now we're gonna set up for the other, for the lid
for the lid, yeah.
to screw on there. Take it out of the chuck right there.
Or slide it to you.
Right. Oh yeah.
That's a nice feature.
Isn't that beautiful?
That's a nice feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like what I see.
Yeah. So you got about 2 threads?
No, it's about 2.5, two to
Yeah.
1.5.
1.5, yeah. Yeah, it depends where you look at it, I guess.
Okay, now this is not gonna work. Because this cutter is back about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm only gonna get about 1 thread on here,
That's enough.
you know?
Are you using a torque wrench to put the lid on?
No. No. Well, I might have to torque it, but I won't use an impact. Now, we want to cut on this side, right?
Actually, may not get it to that side, can you?
Should be able to.
If you can't, just go the other way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you can cut on either side if you want the tailstock to be on this side. It just means that it's, you move it the opposite direction. Are you all the way back or are you all the way forward?
On which?
No.
This is, it's about mid.
Oh, no, so you need to, this needs, no, that part, don't worry about that. This one here, you need to be this way, because you can't go back this way anymore.
That's right.
So
Okay.
don't worry about that one.
I had the cutter clear the wood.
So you're on the, I'd come on this side, because you're at the end of, you can't go this far anymore. So come on this side.
Yeah,
It's the
okay.
same thing.
Okay, yeah, right,
There you go.
Now you have all kinds of adjustments. So.
yeah,
But you remember that this here is all the way back,
right,
so you're only going forward. So you want to be able to clear, this Right, whoop, too far,
Too
way
far.
too far, way too far. Okay, right there.
Yeah.
Now you now lock it square. Okay, now before you do anything, try and take this piece that way. Take the whole thing that way.
Right. We can go.
No, 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 take the whole thing. Pull the pin. Pull it all the way to you. Pull it to you. All the way.
Oh, okay. I see what
No,
you mean.
just pull it.
I,
Pull it
okay,
no,
I
just pull it
understand.
all the way.
Yeah,
Okay.
you wanted to see that it was clear.
I wanted to see
I didn't
this
understand
clear.
that. What
And
you
that's
want me to
okay.
do.
But
Okay.
now this is where
Now
we're
that we
gonna do
know
the
that that's
testing.
clear.
Now we know that this is set.
Yeah.
Now you come back and now you fiddle to make it cut, but you don't move this way at all.
It's just barely
Doesn't
clears.
matter.
Yeah, as long as it clears.
As long as it
fine.
clears, who cares?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And so now, you know you've only got 3/4 of an inch of travel, so you just check this and say, okay, that's going to bump. You got lots of travel, so you're
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Now you adjust this one, and we're going to get close here.
Are we going to be able to get enough travel on that though, Bert, to
Probably
thread?
not.
No.
Probably not.
That's-
No,
yeah.
just look at this now.
Yeah.
Look at what we're saying.
Yeah.
We're down to that root, right?
Right.
Okay, so that means that we will have enough travel.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, slide this out of the way again. Slide it that way.
Yeah.
There's your box. Now, this should just fit in the hole, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and that
That's,
just fits in the hole.
Yeah.
So that
So
means
I-
these threads are just touching the outside of this, so you
Right.
don't want your cutter to cut that. When you're cutting, you're only
Okay.
cutting thread down to that. Once
Down
the
to
cutter
that level.
touches this,
Yeah.
you stop, because if you don't, then they'll be
Then
too small.
Gotta be too small. Yeah. Okay.
And then you have this here so you can do the test bit. Okay. I want it to be successful on this first one. And even though this is really, really close, you're gonna have more than enough to do the cutting.
Yeah. Is it locked? Now it is. Good, Dave.
Yeah. I seen because the head of the bolt was sticking out past here.
Yeah.
That's how I saw it.
Okay.
And you probably wanna do that in at least 2 cuts, maybe
Yeah.
3.
For
Do the
sure.
first cut just to skim
Just
it.
so it skims it.
Just so it skims it and so the cutter butts into your flange. And you don't want to drive it into the flange, but go up and touch the flange.
Just to touch it, yeah.
Because the cutter will cut that flange a little bit too, so. That's probably close for
I
your first
think I'm
cut.
pretty close for the
For your
first cut.
yeah,
Yeah.
that works, yeah. Did you go the wrong way?
I think I did. Yeah, we did it again.
the wrong way again.
I think they did. That's confusing.
That's learning, that's okay. That's all part of learning. That's, you're cutting on one side or the other. You just have to get the brain working that way and it'll come. That's the wrong way again. You're the wrong way, aren't you?
Wrong way.
Wrong way. There, now you're going the right way. Okay. There you go.
I just had to find it.
So that's your final cut.
Yeah, that's it.
Swing her that way. And try your threads. And wiggle it a bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's too tight.
Just too tight. So now you know, but now you know. That
Yeah.
little, yeah, that's okay. That little spigot you put on there, that sized you. Now you know that you're really,
Yeah,
really
it
close.
was, but remember, Bert, it was quite tight. It was a real snug
That's
fit.
what I'm just saying.
That's,
It's-
yeah,
Because when if it's a real snug fit and you happen to make that hole a little bit bigger,
yeah,
because if you go too deep on there, the hole gets bigger.
right.
So when you're
Right,
making
so
that spigot, you
I
make
got
it
that
so it
wiggle
just
room.
fits, and then you know that,
Yeah.
okay, the threads can have a little more room.
Yeah.
And then once you cut down to there, you know that you're really close, so
Yeah.
now you make a 10 thou cut on there, because 10 thou on there will be 20 thou overall,
Yeah,
and that'll be enough to give you clearance. You're gonna pull the pin and slide it this way.
there we go.
Okay, so now you're registered, so now you only need to go 10 thou in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's that way, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, I
think it
wasn't
is.
watching that. So.
I think it is.
You want this to go that direction, so whatever,
Direction, so this way.
to go that
No,
direction?
hang on, no. That direction go, yeah, this way, this way.
Yeah,
With 10 thou, so that's just like less than a quarter of a turn,
that's about there.
okay?
Yeah.
So now you run it, that'll be your, and that's the part where you need to
That's,
remember.
yeah, that's the think part.
And it'll take
Yeah.
So you should just start cutting, there you go, just starting to cut on the spigot, so you know that the right on, there you go. Did you bring a memory stick with you?
Nope.
Shit, I don't know if I didn't bring an extra one. Maybe you still might have one.
Look
You
at
got an
that.
iPad? Have you got an iPad with you?
No, I didn't bring that in.
Oh, okay.
All I got was my phone.
No, it's still not enough.
Oh, well, hang on though, like hump screwed off. Right? So what's on the end here that is stopping you? You're coming up against the end of the wood, end of the thread. Screwed on there again? Okay, so maybe it's just a little bit tight, right?
Yeah.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I look at this one is that take another cut off. Just what I'm picturing from my experience with the threads, this isn't perpendicular to the lathe by about 5 thou. But so you take another 5 thou off instead of 10, that'll screw right on.
Okay.
So the wooden threads are more forgiving than metal threads.
Yeah.
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 And you might want to put some CA on that before you make the next cut.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking that. Just because it's starting to flake.
Yep. And another thing you can put on instead of CA is you can just put wax on. But I mean,
Yes.
CA works good, but wax,
Yeah.
wax works as well. You just put some wax on it, works into the threads, and then, yeah, you don't worry about it.
Okay.
I wouldn't put too much on, just enough so it'll soak in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. CA is our friend.
Yeah, it sure is. I learned something. Put Vaseline on
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah, makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does.
So what is that stuff to spray?
It's the accelerator, and it just a few seconds and the glue is hard.
It's hard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it takes like 10 or 15 minutes for it to fully harden, but you put the accelerator on. instant.
Oh, okay.
Pull it out,
Pull it out. There you go.
and then wiggle it so it's
Yeah, I want to make sure that's locked.
Hang on. It's not there.
Still not there?
There you go.
There. Okay. All right, that's something to get used to.
Okay, whoa, something doesn't look right here. Are you cutting on? Oh yeah, you are. Yeah,
Yep.
but you only want to go like 5 thou. in
Right,
the
so
direction.
what figures a quarter turn was 12 and a half?
12 and a half, yeah.
So an eighth of a turn
Yeah.
should be there.
This is the part where you really snake up on it. So if you go and like a little bit and a little
So
bit.
what if I got to make two passes?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. There you're up against the thread. So now,
But I want that flange to hit the bowl.
that's okay. Take your piece off. Take your piece off. Now you mount
Oh, then I mill that out.
back this here, and then you take a real thin parting tool.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
And you just
Right, and just
there,
take the
you're-
edge.
You're up against the end of this thread.
Yeah.
So you only take a thin parting tool.
Right.
To don't ever touch this thread. Just stay really, really thin in here,
Yeah.
Just do your wall.
Yeah.
And it should do it.
and that'll do it.
Yeah. I didn't think I'd left enough space there. I thought, it should have been a little bit more. And, like we were talking about this morning, Bert, I was going to part out a little bit more. But you suggest no, wait and run the cutter up against that. So now we see what's happened
And
and
that's
understand it better.
That's what you need to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm good with it.
Because at the end of the day, if you wanted to, you could just cut it back a little bit and
Yeah.
like